Oh, great. Just excellent. So you know how I announced last week that I was going to be doing a chiropractic episode? Well, as today's the day that I'm going to release it, lo and behold, guess what happened?
Oh, crap! Oh, my bleeding back! Jesus Christ! That's smart.
Yep, that's right. JonTron made a video about a chiropractor a day before I released mine. I know I'm not on his radar, so obviously this has nothing to do with me. I just can't wait for the comments that are going to be saying that I'm trying to ride on his coattails now, even though I released the thumbnail for the episode a week ago. So, screw it. Alright, as is tradition, let's go ahead and get into the fan art section. First off, we have Lizard Suris from Kitty, then we have a Neko Suris from Bumblin' Bee, and finally we have a submission from a Facebook user, so I do not have their name, but this one is Rule 63 Cat Suris. Now, there's a lot of rules of the internet I guess I'm never going to escape. Thank you all for your submissions, and let's get right into the episode. So originally today I wanted to do this episode responding to one Dr. Bergman.
Cancer is not genetic. One of the reasons that we're in an epidemic of cancer is not from just the deficiency and toxicity of our environment. Now, you're building 1 billion cells a day. 10,000 of those cells are abnormal cells or cancer cells.
But the more research I did about the guy, the more I realized that he deserves his own set of episodes completely separate from this topic. The topic at hand being chiropractic. Chiropractic has a very long history, and it is a form of alternative medicine mostly concerned with the diagnosis and treatment of mechanical disorders in the bones. Now, it should be noted that chiropractic medicine has a lot of conflicting results from its studies when trying to review any of the efficacy of its treatments. General consensus seems to be, however, that when it comes to some issues that reside strictly in the back, chiropractic medicine can be effective. The real problem becomes when a chiropractic practitioner tries selling you their pseudoscience, usually by claiming things like chiropractic will help with your digestive health.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about the digestive system. We're going to talk about digestive issues clearing up with chiropractic adjustments.
As if this is going to help my lactose intolerance. Or that this is going to stop me from having chronic migraines. This all stems from the underlying idea in chiropractic that the body's ails can be found in forms of subluxation. Subluxation is a partial dislocation of a vertebrae. There are different vertebrae that are assigned to different parts of the body, some that help with autoimmune systems, and others that help with digestive health, and others that help with pain management. The problem here, though, is that the idea of subluxation being the basis for medical problems stems from the idea that the body has an innate intelligence. Basically, the body knows best. These are ideas that actively reject the scientific consensus on medicine. The body does not necessarily know what's best, and if it did, people suffering from MS wouldn't have their immune systems constantly destroying their nerves. As with a lot of pseudoscientific woo, you can usually tell whether or not it's based in good science by simply looking at its origins. As for chiropractic, you can thank one Daniel David Palmer for founding the entire field of chiropractic. He was a huge proponent of alternative medicine such as magnetic healing and was an anti-vaxxer. And you know, when your medical professional, in quotation marks, is an anti-vaxxer, you can usually tell that it's time to walk right out the office. He believed that his medical knowledge about chiropractic came from an alternative plane of existence, and they were given to him from an intelligent spiritual being known as Dr. Jim Atkinson. He said that the method by which he obtained an explanation of certain physical phenomenon were from an intelligence in the spiritual world known in biblical language as inspiration. So basically, just imagine the entire method in which the Mormon religion was founded, and you may start to see some parallels. He also regarded chiropractic study as religious in nature. He viewed chiropractic as a religious duty of chiropractors, and he viewed the practice as a privilege that was conferred upon them. He said that it became of chiropractors to assert their religious rights. In fact, in 1966, the American Medical Association has called the chiropractic practitioner an unscientific cult. They boycotted it until losing an antitrust case in 1987. Chiropractic managed to maintain its position as something that people would rapidly flock to whenever they are suffering from various illnesses. But why is this the case? Well, aside from the fact that this may not actually be doing your body any good, it turns out that there actually are some benefits to chiropractic, especially when talking about the pain management side of things. If you are suffering from back pain resulting from a stiff back, having your back realigned is usually going to be an effective method of actually fixing that problem. Also, there are instances where you have pinched nerves, and chiropractors can usually help with pinched nerves given that surrounding tissue and bone pressure is what causes them in the first place, and their entire shtick is relieving that pressure. So there are actually some physical things that they can definitely help with. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, that there are certain things that chiropractic can help with. The issue, however, doesn't come down to whether or not chiropractic can help with things. The issue comes with the scope in which chiropractors generally believe their practice can be helpful. And it is because of this scope, as well as the previously mentioned points about pain management and pinched nerves, that have allowed them to continue to be popular. People in America in general suffer from various types of pain, and ways to manage this pain are always going to be sought out in high demand. If anyone is offering you an effective way to get rid of that pain, then you're going to probably buy it. And since, for the most part, we use our backs for everything from lifting to maintaining our posture while we're sitting at office chairs, chiropractic is going to offer a ready-made pain management tool. But what about the other side of chiropractic that I mentioned, the one that might not be as ethical? Well, as it turns out, in 2008, a commentary was proposed that chiropractic may actually need to regulate itself in order to combat abuse within its circles. There's a lot of fraud and quackery in chiropractic. Quackery seems to be a lot more prevalent in chiropractic than it is in any other medical field. Given that chiropractic began as literal quackery, this makes sense. And in most cases, if it quacks like a duck, you can go ahead and assume it's a duck. Chiropractors, especially here in the United States, tend to unnecessarily treat patients. This is because chiropractic, even though it is useful in pain management in some cases, it is marketed in many cases as a preventative tool. This would mean that patients are returning to a chiropractor more often than they would normally need to because it's being viewed as a type of preventative medicine. A lot like taking any of your various prescriptions that you might have in order to prevent yourself from being sick. I know for me, I have chronic allergies, so I do have to take a certain amount of allergy meds in order to keep myself from falling over at the first sign of pollen. As a result of chiropractic being marketed as a tool of prevention as opposed to a tool of healing, many people end up getting a lot of chiropractic adjustments that they don't actually need, and it should be noted that any manipulation of the spine that is unnecessary always comes with a level of risk. The more you manipulate the spine, the more chances of having actual problems occur from that manipulation. Looking at websites from chiropractors, you can generally find that a lot of them actually talk about benefits that aren't supported by science. There was an analysis of this in 2010 which found that the majority of chiropractic websites and their associations made claims of effectiveness that weren't supported by any scientific evidence. Only 28% of chiropractors actually advocated that they were there for helping with lower back pain, which is one of the few things that actually contained sound evidence. There was even a point in time where 500 individual chiropractors all had formal complaints being thrown at them for false advertising. This caused a lot of chiropractors to remove leaflets that actually had claims about helping with whiplash and colic from their practice. When this happened, the British Chiropractic Association tried to file a lawsuit against Simon Singh, who had inspired this filing of mass complaints. A year later, they ended up withdrawing their suit. Wonder why? As was shown in the video from JonTron that released yesterday, which I might as well link in the description below because it is tangentially related and it's hilarious. Some chiropractors actually try to market their own products as seen on TV items.
Hi, I'm John Creemans. Welcome to our show, Living Without Back Pain.
And I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, if my doctor is acting more like a used car salesman than a medical professional, I'm probably going to be running out the door. And given that a 2003 profession-wide survey found that most chiropractors still hold views of the body's innate intelligence of knowing what's best, it's fairly safe to say that even in recent years, a majority of chiropractors are still woo practitioners. Again, as I said before, there are some things that chiropractic can help with. But let me be abundantly clear. This will not help with anything except pain management and some spinal problems. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know that it's not the usual video response, but I wanted to go ahead and get some more informative stuff out, and Dangers of Woo usually is a good place for that. With all that said, I will see you all tomorrow, and insert end of video tagline here.